Giro's Grande Potenza in Bulgaria is in danger of being remembered for all the wrong reasons. 2 stages, 2 big crashes, and 7 riders already forced to abandon the race before even setting foot on Italian soil. UAE Team Emirates have been the worst affected, with Jay Vine, Marc Soler and GC hopeful Adam Yates all heading to the hospital yesterday evening. Santi Buitrago, Odne Holter and Andrea Vendrami were also forced to head home several weeks early. Luckily, much better weather in store for this final chapter in the trilogy of Bulgarian stages, which finishes in the nation's capital Sofia, after what could technically be described as a mountain stage. The Borovets pass is 9.2 kilometres long at 5.4%, but it crests at 70 kilometres from the finish, leaving somewhat of a question mark as to how the stage might play out. Well, the ease at which the breakaway was able to head up the road after the flag dropped suggested the sprinters' teams were fairly confident of a result at the end of the day. Only a handful of willing candidates for the early escape, including the now familiar faces of Manuele Torozzi and Diego Pablo Sevilla. The blue jersey had his hopes set on another 18 points in the King of the Mountains classification, and he had his Polti Visit Malta teammate Alessandro Tonelli alongside him for the journey. They'd have over 100 kilometres to ride in front before they could contest those points, however. But before that came the intermediate sprint at the foot of the climb, and while the 3 leaders took the majority of the points, Lidl Trek jumped ahead to take the minor placings with Jonathan Milan and Mats Valscheid. Despite its imposing length, the Borovets pass was ridden at a gentle enough pace to pretty much keep the race all together, with Arnaud Delis being the one exception. The Belgian still trying to recover from illness that he'd picked up in the days preceding the Giro. He was sportingly G'd along by his former teammate Victor Campenaerts before current teammates Josh Giddings and Jonas Rutsch lent a hand to try and shepherd him back into the safety of the bunch. Plenty of local wildlife and a great atmosphere on the mountain as Sevilla accomplished his goal for the day. 5 categorised climbs completed thus far in the Giro, and every one of them conquered by the Spaniard. Cristian Scaroni edged ahead of the peloton behind to take 4 points, perhaps with an eye on this classification later on in the race. His team XDS Astana already having a brilliant start to this Grand Tour, with a stage win and the leader's jersey on the back of Thomas Silva. In a different scenario, Silva's 4-second lead on GC from Florian Stork at the start of the day might have been under threat at the upcoming Red Bull kilometre, but in keeping with the leisurely nature of the stage thus far, the breakaway stayed away to hoover up the 6-4 and 2 bonus seconds on offer. Nothing leisurely about the battle itself between Torozzi and Sevilla though, with the Italian just getting his wheel in front at the line. Clearly plenty of fight left in the trio up front, who still held 15 seconds as the race approached the outskirts of Sofia. Behind, the sprint was starting to wind up, and the change of pace yielded a crash for Timo de Jong. A real spanner in the works for Picnic Postenel, who had Casper van Uden primed and ready to contest the victory later. With a predominantly straight run-in, the lead-out trains were hesitant to go too early and risk getting swamped in the final when it really mattered. This was encouraging news for the breakaway, who were still yet to be caught with 3 kilometres to go and actually increased their advantage to 19 seconds. Behind, Unibet, Rosa Rockets and Soudal-QuickStep began to crank things up to approach speed. 65 kilometres an hour on nice wide roads meant this stage was set for a thrilling finale. The breakaway was still dangling in front even as they went under the Flamme Rouge.
Here we go, Decathlon, it's Callum Scottson who's trying to pull them there, but the break is just about still ahead. They're going to launch this one early. It's the Rockets who are ready to go. Behind there's elbow stuff, there's shoulder stuff. Milan's there. Most of the lead-out men have been waited, and now we're going to go to a bunch sprint. The breakaway's brought back. 250 minutes to the line, and it's Jonathan Milan going from really early out. Milan with Magnier on the wheel. It's Milan. He's well ahead, but Magnier is gaining. Jonathan Milan. Magnier through the centre. There's Dylan Groenewegen. It's 3 to the line. Magnier has his hand in the air.
It was a tentative hand, but the replay confirms it. The throw from Dylan Groenewegen, not enough to disturb a dream start to the Giro d'Italia for Paul Magnier and Soudal-QuickStep.
Yeah, the team did an amazing job again. We controlled the day, and then we had the plan to really be in good position at 1K to go, and this is what we did. And then I was not really sure to win the stage, to be honest. I celebrate and then I say, oh, I'm not sure. But in the end, I won, so I'm really happy.
Do you realize the top sprinters you beat, Jonathan Milan, Dylan Groenewegen?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, now I have to say that I feel really good and I can be with the best sprinters in the world, so I will try to enjoy this moment and keep going like this with the team.
Talk me through that sprint, and did you believe that you had it when you passed the line?
No, yeah, I felt immediately that was not just for victory. I had the speed, but yeah, I went too late. So the team did a perfect job, amazing job. Yeah, what we a little bit missed the first day, that we did everything in the right way today. But I just had to go. It was with 300 meters to go, I think. But yeah, I had the speed, so yeah, stupid.
I know you're here to win, obviously, but what you've been through the first day, I guess not sleeping that well, can you be at least satisfied with what you performed today?
No, not really. We came for the victory also the first day, then we crashed. Can happen in a race, but yeah, you heard the sound. That's what I want with the team, so yeah, it can happen, but for the next time, it's at least it's hopeful.
It's the image we all wanted. The big sprinters of this race going toe-to-toe, separated by the finest of margins. And the top 10 reads like a who's who of sprinting at this race. Arnaud Delis incidentally finished safely in 47th place, and will hope to recover in time for the sprint opportunities to come once the race continues after the rest day. Thomas Silva can look forward to sporting his Maglia Rosa in the country in which it was born 95 years ago on this day in 1931. Potential complications of the Red Bull kilometre at the end of the stage failed to materialise, and the GC time gaps in the top 10 are unchanged. The race packs its bags and heads off to Italy after the rest day. Stage 4 takes in a tour of Calabria, and the profile looks strikingly similar to Stage 3. This time the summit of Cozzo Turno crests 43 kilometres from the finish, which could perhaps draw out the attackers, especially with another Red Bull kilometre on the run into the line. You can watch every single kilometre live on TNT Sports and HBO Max.